everyone, and welcome to REZOcast episode 129. This is Lego, and I've got with me Hove, Wilson, and Triton returning from Triton, I feel like it's been a while. I feel like we haven't seen you in a while. How's it going, man?
It's been going pretty good, actually. I jumped back on because, this is, and like I said in our chat, I'm always really appreciative that you guys kind of respect it. This is just a tough time for me between March Madness, everything going on with basketball leading up to the draft, all kinds of stuff that goes on with my kids. Youth baseball season starts, which is all three of my kids, and it's heavily involved in this year. I'm on the board for our baseball association, which has been quite challenging in terms of balancing my time. So it's been kind of a whirlwind type of week. Have not gotten into any video games. The only thought I've had around video games really is probably should have not bought the Division 2 at retail. Not because I didn't want to play it, but because the time in which I finally was going to get to play that, it's looking like that probably would have been like a $40 game at that point.
Do you have your baseball board meetings at Eaton Park at like 2 a.m.?
I've had a baseball board. No, we've not had any of those type of like cult baseball meetings like really late, but I have had random meetings. I have upset parents that'll email me at like 1 a.m. I'll have people think that I should go down and get dogs off of our baseball fields. One of our fields is more remote area. I've been told I should go kill the turkeys there on the field so that they don't mess up the infield mix. So quite the amount of inquiries that I will field on a daily basis as the board secretary, which was a mistake. Should have taken tournament director. That was much easier position than the secretary. That was not a good choice, but it's for the kids. So otherwise been a pretty good week. Family a little bit sick, just kind of like those seasonal sicknesses from winter to spring, but missed you guys. And I will say something nice about Hove. Doesn't happen all the time.
Wow.
So brace yourselves. Is that I do feel this is a space a lot of times that it's kind of can be out of sight, out of mind, and I understand that works both ways. So me not being around and being active, it's hard to also reach out to people. But Hove and I usually end up touching base mostly about basketball, but something roughly
touching
touching base.
Okay.
No, not touching butts. That happens more regularly. But just touching base probably like every 2 weeks, and it does give credence to the fact that I do think that the online relationships, friendships exist. I mean, even though we've seen each other and we live close to each other, but I will say I do appreciate that because it does keep me a little bit connected to the community and connected to what we're doing. So kudos to you, Hove. I do appreciate our side conversations.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's almost like we're friends.
It is almost like we're friends. So, but yeah, hopefully you guys have also had awesome weeks, but that's been pretty much my fill in the blanks for the 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the world of Destiny hasn't, other than there's like a weekly story progression that's been happening with the 9, with the Drifter, and so that's been fun to follow, but other than that, it's kind of like, in terms of Destiny, it's like whatever you make it that week. Like, if you're into PvE stuff, like if you're grinding for, the Long Goodbye, the sniper, this week, or maybe you're playing some comp or whatever, that's pretty much all that's like, unless because there's like all the Gambit maps have come out now and there's nothing really else new going on, so it kind of is what you make it. I just want to say real quick too, if you're joining us for the first time on the podcast listening, or if you're live, just want to let you know we are a Destiny focused podcast, but also we're from the clan Resolute, and we talk about a lot of other games too, because our guys and gals are out playing all sorts of games everywhere, like Triton mentioning the Division, and I know we have another game that you probably may regret buying. I'm not sure at this point, Triton, Anthem, which we might talk about at some point, but yeah, we talk about other things too. So if you're listening, thanks for joining us. We talk about lots of things,
and most importantly, for anyone who may have missed it recently, I bucked up this week, and Conversation Penetration is back.
Right.
So be listening out for that. There's some words
where we
Triton. Listen, I gave Triton,
but the points don't matter.
Pretty much,
right?
I gave Triton like nothing dirty, nothing crazy, and he goes, "This word, I would never say this." Well, like, that's the point. Like, if I gave Triton the word basketball, or Lego the word drums, or Wilson the word marijuana, nobody's going to be surprised if they say those words.
It's true. I have already said basketball, but
exactly.
It is conversation penetration, or what is the other version?
Word insertion.
Word insertion is back. Like, 100% grade A ground biscuit. It's back.
Brisket?
Oh.
Back and it's free balling.
Because I don't really know who grinds biscuits.
I said brisket, damn it. Okay.
We just gotta make sure you're not like giving us half-baked answers here, Triton. We want to make sure that you're, on point.
Yeah, we gotta.
I'm glad you're holding me accountable, Lego.
I was just making sure
Yeah.
Lego or Triton wasn't, smoking that sticky icky.
No.
That's somebody else's job? I know.
I mean,
Let's do this, man. Let's do this.
Hope, I thought you were gonna say when you were like, well, I don't know if anybody noticed, like I thought you were gonna say like I thought you were gonna say I jumped into comp or something like that. I don't know. What have you been doing this week, Hove?
do
I want to? I don't know.
No,
What
it's just
have you been doing
it's
this
just
week,
really
Hove?
funny because one of the things I did this week that was very exciting is I made some really good burgers 2 days in a
okay,
row.
yeah.
So you could say I'm the Hamburglar, which is why that's funny because I was gonna bring up those burgers regardless.
Except way more attractive.
Yeah, you should see me in that outfit.
Oh. Did you do
have.
that for Halloween one year? You just do it regardless.
No, I mean I was like a prison inmate one year, like for
Okay.
Halloween. So like,
I got you clarified for Halloween.
yeah, I was not actually a prison inmate for a year. Not sponsored.
role-playing.
Hashtag not sponsored. But if you're ever at the grocery store and you go over to like the ground meat section and they're with all the burgers, but they have like a cardboard wrapper around them. They're called Schweid and Sons burgers. They're so good.
Okay.
They're so good. They're like 75-25, so they're like extra fatty, so they're nice and juicy. Listen, put them in a pan on the stove, tiny little bit of oil, medium high heat, 4 minutes, flip, 4 minutes, done. Don't touch them otherwise. You will be just as juicy as the burgers when you're done.
Oh shit! Look out, Bobby Flay.
And we get these at Giant Eagle, right, Ho? If that's what you're saying. Like, I could just go to Giant
You
Eagle.
could go to Giant Eagle. That's where I get them. Yeah.
Right,
And if you really want to
So-
if you really want to make it good, then you get some Martin's potato rolls. You butter them and toast them, or if you're feeling real froggy, you put them in the pan face down with some butter on them to get them going. And they come out, they're like almost lickable.
Like, Spankalicious good.
Also, I just want to point out for anybody, Matt Grundy, who says things like 93-7 is the best ratio. Listen, for anything but burgers, yeah, but for burgers, you never go higher than 85-15.
Who said that, Matt?
Matt Grundy, I'm very disappointed.
He also came in the chat and said, "Sup, bitches."
I don't know. I think I probably had some other things to say, but
Well, do you know what? I know we have a lot of other Destiny stuff coming up, like Arc Week. But speaking of, you're talking about food and burgers and everything. Did you know that tomorrow is National Burrito Day?
is it actually tomorrow?
Yeah, it's actually tomorrow.
I knew it was coming up or had happened. Yeah.
Well, it's actually like it says that a lot of places like will celebrate it the 5th through the 12th, so it's more like a National Burrito Week. But
yeah.
Wait, whoa! I'm a little upset now because I don't think tacos get a whole week.
I know, I'm upset too. Why do burritos get
I
a
mean,
whole week?
don't get me wrong.
What's the
It's
what are
a,
the sales though?
I can't hate it. I love burritos, but tacos, man.
I know.
At what point in time does International Insert Whatever Food Here Day, do they start overlapping and it's multiple foods on one day?
I'm
Because
sure
I
it
feel like
happens.
every fucking day or every week somebody's like, it's International
know.
Pineapple Day. It's International
Do you know
fucking
what?
Pumpkin Day.
Do you know what eating a lot of pineapple is good for?
Vitamin C,
Vitamin C. That's right, Wilson.
anti-scurvy.
Yeah.
I'm fucking smart. Come at me. What else you got, huh? Bobby
Uh,
Flay, your food
I was trying to
knowledge.
guess something perverse. Ho was gonna say.
It was.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was.
see?
See, Lego knows.
Wilson, how was your week, man?
It was good, man. Got back on the concrete grind, so I've been outside working hard, coming home, playing a very minimal amount of Destiny.
Yeah.
However, last weekend, got to play. Wait, was that last weekend? Yeah, last weekend played with
Wait.
WTF.
Wait, I
No,
gotta
you told us
interrupt
about this
because-
on the last
That's
podcast.
right. That was the week before.
Are you high?
I just gotta say, the True Vanguard just came in our chat and yelled "penis water." I know this.
Oh, we should
And-
screenshot that.
That was very unlike him. And then it said, "Oh God, I'm still on TV's account," and it's Manigator. I guess. But that.
Ooh, that was the
That
other
was
thing.
the
But I'm
best.
gonna wait till Mana gets here because I have a bone to pick with Mr. Gator.
Sorry, Wilson. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I just
That's amazing.
I saw True Vanguard say "penis water." I just wondered what was going on.
Can we
It's
screenshot
very
that?
out of
I
It's
already
been
did.
done.
Perfect.
It's very out of character, and of course, it was Mana, so it makes a lot of sense.
It would have been better if he like cursed afterwards, like,
Ooh.
"Oh,
Can
I'm
I-
on
can I-
TV's account."
Before we get back to Wilson, I'm really sorry, but I want to point out Cracky in chat said something fantastic when we were talking about tacos versus burritos.
Uh-huh.
He said tacos get 52 days a year, though. Let burritos have 7. Taco Tuesday?
That's
Mhm.
true.
True. Used to be
Genius.
Taco Sunday, as we discussed last episode, but
What?
What?
at Taco Bell, 49-cent tacos, Taco Sunday.
That still does not make a Taco Sunday. That sounds
Yeah,
stupid.
Lego, that makes it like get rid of inventory.
It did for me. I mean,
And clean your system Sunday.
I don't think it
Clean your
cleans
system
anything,
Sunday.
though.
Well, I mean, you know.
sorry, Wilson.
Regret
My
Life
man.
Monday is what it would be. No, man, I just been like, so today I got a really good roll. I'm not about like a really good roll on the long goodbye. I just wanted snapshot on it. Thing is really good, dude.
Really?
I wish it was in the primary slot.
Me too. Yeah.
But still jumping into the raid and getting those 2 chests every week in hopes of a supremacy, no dice.
I don't have to do
But
that.
my Alone as a God will have to do for now. But
Dude, Alone as a God's really good, and Hove let me know he didn't have one yet, which I was surprised.
yeah, it's a good substitute.
Is it kinetic
however-
or what slots?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
well
in
then
the
that
kinetic
doesn't
slot.
help me.
Oh,
Lego?
sorry.
Oh, I was all excited.
But like other than that, man, just been like unwind, play a little bit of quick play, like nothing really too crazy been going on this week in Destiny. I got that sniper, got a Warden's Law, which whatever, but just kind of knocking out some of the Nightfall loot. Like last week, I got the pulse rifle from the Corrupted Strike, which was cool. Got that out of the way, and if IO would come around this next week or something, I can get my Wayfarer title finally. But wasn't really like too worried about it. And then I realized just like the couple things that I had to do. It was just like a couple heroic adventures, and I was like, yeah,
Well,
might as well
no,
go
it's not
for
bad.
it.
If it doesn't come around, if you'd like, I'll just call you Wayfair until it does.
Call me whatever. Don't apologize.
No, I don't apologize.
So Wilson, that sniper, I want to know because I don't have one. I just seen people talking about it. What would you compare it to? Like, what is there a gun that you feel like it is similar to, or is it its own? Like, is it like a short zoom scope? Like,
So it's like a Gambit sniper, like
Okay.
real old time looking. Looks like it has a really long scope on it, but I don't know if it's just me. It's a placebo thing, but it feels like most of those scopes that have that like Gambit Prime look to them or Gambit look to them, all have like a medium zoom on them. This
Okay.
one, I only got to use it a little bit before the podcast, but it feels like it has a shorter zoom.
nice.
The thing is incredibly stable, which like isn't really something that you really want to look for on a sniper, but like when you're going for like the multi-kill or like a follow-up shot,
Yeah.
this thing has extremely predictable recoil, basically.
Nice.
Really good handling out of the gate. You just got to get snapshot on it. So I got like snapshot, rapid hit, and something else, but the thing reloads super fast when you're hitting your crits, and it's just overall like really snappy. Not a huge fan of the triangular reticle. I know there's a fancy word for that. But I'm getting used to it. I
That
much
make him wear the hat.
Is it like
target
Mida?
reticle?
Like Midas? Like that?
Mida,
Yeah, it's that little triangle. Somebody, Spiffy said it earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the name for that. I'm sure somebody in chat will know.
Top
but
hat.
like, sure,
Yeah, sure.
no, I'm down with that. But I like it. I can't wait to take it into some competitive. I really like sniping in competitive. It throws people off if you know the popular lanes, and this is a big misconception that you gotta like sit in the back and stuff like that, and you could totally be aggressive, and you know that's like one of my favorite things, like when you bait someone around the corner and they expect you to be running the other way and you're just scoping at them. And we need to do some private matches, Lego, just snipers only.
Oh dude, it's been so fun. I actually got to do some fusion sniper matches
saw that
the other day. It was a it was my comp team last night, actually. Like, we were trying to gather people for comp, and the guy was like, well, why don't we just do a quick play or something? And I was like, well, let's do a private match instead. And just ran fusion sniper, and that was it. And it was so fun, and it got us like really like warmed up. And then I ran fusion sniper in comp the rest of the night, and it was so good, man. Like, it's so, and I talked about it last week, but that has been my week. It's reignited my love for Destiny to be sniping again. Because we went so long where it just didn't seem viable, and now that shotguns are pulled a little bit back, and we don't have Telesto, because Telesto was really the thing that was laning people, you know. It's been really fun. Just like you said, I'll fusion someone kind of close, and if they get me low, I'll kind of like run away, and they'll chase you through the doorway and just have it right at headshot length and just pop, you know. And they don't expect it at all. They're like, whoa, I thought he just had a fusion rifle, you know? So it can be deadly in comp. And it's risky for sure, but it's fun.
It is, but it's really good to have, like, at least one person sniping on your team. Like, it's really nice, and it comes in handy. It's a little trickier when everyone's sniping because, like, I can play aggressive if my team is playing aggressive, you know what I mean? So it helps when you have a couple shotgunners on the team. You can kind of run in, fill those lanes and stuff like that. And so it's cool. It's cool that it's viable. I just hope that we can get a little bit of flinch reduction.
Yeah.
1v1 me, Lego.
Ooh, sounds like a challenge. I'm down.
You're just not allowed to use guns.
I can do that, actually.
Are you...
I saw that clip where he punched everyone to death. Granted, you were there shooting people along with him.
I don't have ammo a lot of the time running this fusion sniper setup. Like, if I miss my 2 shots or I don't kill anyone or they're not running special and don't drop anything, then I just run at people and try to punch them. And a lot of times it works. 2 updates real quick before I move on from my week. And that is, 1, almost to 4,000 in glory, which is like
nice.
Last season I got almost that high too, but I didn't follow through and go to legend. So this time I'm really pushing for it. And then 2, I got that Iron Banner fusion rifle, and it's better than I thought it would be. And it makes me look forward to it potentially having random rolls in the future. And that's kind of it for me. Hove sent us something this week before we dive into the TWAB. Had like so many subclass changes, which I know we're gonna get to. But Hove sent an article, which the whole internet saw. It was Kotaku, right, that did the
Jason
Anthem.
Schreier.
Yeah, Jason Schreier. And I just thought it was everybody was kind of reading through that article. Mana has joined us as well.
He's on the elevator. He's going.
Yeah. And
look at his hair.
Anyway, it was all about Anthem and just its development and stuff. And Hove was comparing it to kind of Destiny, and we were talking. Not the article. No. You were talking about how the comparison that the article was making and the people that were building Anthem were making to Destiny, and I just thought it was all really interesting. I thought we'd bring it up for a second.
It was a great article.
Triton might have some input on it since he was the one who actually played Anthem the most out of all us. But Hove, why did you send us the article to begin with? Maybe just we'll start with that.
I don't know. I thought, we're a gaming podcast. Anthem and Destiny are kind of sort of in the same space. It was a really interesting article. Are you laughing at me?
Yeah, you just sound, like an idiot savant right now. Like I know you know what you're talking about. You're not getting that.
I mean, that's why I sent it to you. What do you want me to say?
Okay.
I don't know. I just thought it was a really interesting article. For anyone who hasn't read it yet, it's Jason Schreier had interviewed a lot of people, former devs, I think current devs, all anonymously, or mostly, from BioWare, about kind of the development cycle of Anthem. And, from everything I know about the Destiny development cycle, which we know was pretty troubled, Anthem makes it look like it was as smooth as could possibly be, right? Like it was pretty rocky. And I don't know if you guys saw, but I saw a tweet from him in the last day or so, like since the article came out, that said he's been contacted now by devs from a bunch of different studios that all pretty much said like replace Anthem with X game and replace BioWare with our company, and it's the same. Like the crunch, the depression, like people really not enjoying it. So yeah, I mean it's an interesting read. I would say check it out. It's very long.
I don't feel like I have too much to
That's
say.
what she said.
Hi, Mana.
Hi, guys.
I'm mad at you.
And geez. Well, before I hand it over to Triton to talk about it as well, I wanted to point out Matt Grundy brought it up in chat as well. But a couple of Destiny devs retweeted the article and kind of said a few things about it. It was interesting.
Oh, I didn't see that.
The responses were pretty diverse because you had some devs that were like, can't we just like, this is important, but also like, can we not put down the devs' work? Like it was very like, I'm not sure if this is the best way to go about talking about this kind of stuff. And then there were other devs that like, oh dang it. Now I think it was John Wisniewski. Was one of the ones who retweeted it, who his response was more like, I could definitely see how there were a lot of articles published about Destiny that were similar to this whenever it released. And I can, I'm not saying that what those people said was false. Like he just said, this wasn't my experience though. I'm not downplaying what anybody said, but this wasn't my experience working there. And I just thought that was interesting.
He worked there?
No, at Bungie. I'm talking about people said that about Destiny whenever people said that about Bungie whenever Destiny came out, and John Wisniewski was like, yeah, I recognize that a lot of these articles, this is giving me, a similar feeling, but this wasn't my experience when I worked at Bungie. And it was just interesting, the cultural difference, and him being able to solidly say, even after leaving the company, because John left, that's been some big things that have happened. I don't know if that was this week or last week, but
we haven't talked about it, but let's save that because that's something I think that we should talk about.
Okay, we'll save that. Yeah, he doesn't work for Bungie anymore, and he was able to come out and say, like, I didn't feel this way working at Bungie. Like, I know these articles were published, and I just thought that was interesting to see.
But for everything that was said there, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember anything being said that deep like that serious, like people leaving for months because of stress and depression and all that stuff. Like,
it wasn't that intense.
And the interesting thing, the BioWare prepared a statement and released it like within minutes of that article coming out that was very clearly like prepared, and it said like we don't think that you should, we don't like putting down devs' work and all this stuff. And Jason Schreier was like, this is really weird because nowhere in there did I say, like, he didn't even talk about, like, oh, this was bad. That, like, the game was bad because of anyone's work. It was about the culture and, like, the way it came together, which isn't any, like, dev's fault. Like, he never placed blame on, like, do you know what I mean? Like, the devs doing something. It was just the way everything came together. So it was like BioWare's response didn't... It like, defended a point that wasn't made. It was really odd.
Not only that, but like he said that their response was so fast that they wouldn't have had time to read it, and he sent them, whenever he sent them questions about it that they didn't respond to, that thing he sent them didn't have the article in it. Like for them, it was just like a basic like, hey, I'm gonna write something, and it didn't say anything in it. So he was like, how did they write this so fast? Like this response is crazy.
Which kind of can segue into another article that got really hot on Reddit. That they talked about, like how BioWare's chosen to respond to a lot of these things. But what I found like really interesting as I kind of dove into the article is that, for a space that constantly promotes mental health more than a lot of other spaces, in other communities, to have that be a theme throughout the entire article, and those be the people producing and developing and really having the passion for the game, I found that very interesting. that, you know, the people that are kind of really suffering from that on the, you know, kind of the end user result are really advocating to take care of that. So maybe more of that to come, as well as the fact that, you know, we've seen with Activision and Bungie, we've talked about that for years, when there's not really this kind of connected vision, and sometimes, you know, where deadlines get disjointed between, you know, the actual completion of something, you know, what can happen. And obviously, you know, when they parted with Activision earlier on in the year, there was a big, you know, celebration, I think, on both ends to a degree. So to kind of see that also working in another capacity with different studios, I thought was interesting as well, which I'm sure, again, to Ho's point, will be a theme that we continue to see if it's, you know, other devs reached out and said, hey, this could be this game in this studio. It'll be interesting to see what kind of comes out of that. But you guys are right in terms of their response, because there was another article that got hot on Reddit that said, you know, BioWare's response is fix these things in our game, and they'll come back and say something like, well, we fixed this dishwasher for you. It's like, well, I really just wanted you to give me something to eat. But it's like, but yeah, but this dishwasher is really nice, right? And it just kind of follows this logic of where they're not really directly addressing any of the issues, and they're just kind of skirting it and pushing something else in front of you that just distract you for a period of time. So I think that remains consistent to what Hove said, and Lego, what you kind of followed up on in terms of their response to that. And that's definitely been my experience with the game. There's so many things that I thought was wrong with the game that have never even been acknowledged. And it's frustrating in that, you know, you can tell from that development cycle in the article that they clearly didn't put a lot of time into things that were very important, and they didn't follow or even look at Destiny as a model in any way. I think their vision was, we won't be Destiny, but I think the pushback was, well, should we at least see what makes Destiny, why people continue to play it?
Yeah.
And they didn't even want to go down that route, and I think that included things like gunplay in the end game. They just completely ignored it. Like, well, isn't gunplay essential? Is that exclusive to Destiny? And just, again, it was like, well, we don't want to be Destiny. And so I think those are the types of things that all, and none of the guns feel that distinct. If you've played Anthem, other than a different fire rate or the fact that it looks a little different, they all pretty much play out the same. They're not weird. There's no fun gun. There's no, like, you know.
Well, it's pretty much the same weapons, just reskinned and have different tier of the same weapon.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's bad. There's like.
Did they ever fix that trophy thing?
No, thank you for bringing that up. The trophy bug isn't fixed, so I kind of get we're in this environment now where you do not want, you know, I'm not trying to yell at devs, not trying to yell at any kind of community person, but oftentimes those are the things that get responded to, unfortunately. But there's not even been an acknowledgement of some of these things, and that's what's really frustrating, is that there's a lot of issues that people consistently post everywhere. And when they come out with the patch notes, it's like, yeah, but, you know, hey, we really fixed that spelling error that was on that third menu, so that really went a long way. And you're like, well, my gun doesn't work. I can't finish this mission. Yeah, but we fixed that one graphical issue when you first fly in, though. It's like, well, I can't finish it. It's like, yeah, but, you know, instead of finishing it, you can always do another mission. It's like, okay, well, and that's really what they've done, and it stinks, because I think I had to have mentioned this. I have a perfect platinum record on my profile except this game, and I'm very, very nervous.
Wait. Really? Every game you have right now?
Yeah, but it's a little selective. I mean, I only get to play like 3 games a year, but I have platinumed every game I've ever played. But
that's impressive still.
Yeah.
This is not one of them, and it's frustrating because the efforts to get this platinum included creating a second account to pick up a glitched intel, so that appeared on my second account. So you had to collect, I think, 300 items, 300-400 items. Only 390 appeared on my first character, so I had to recreate another one in hopes that they wouldn't be glitched on the second one, and played through, like, I don't know, 5 hours to get it. It was pretty desperate.
Well, couple things that you made me think of. I'm just gonna go through quickly. When you were talking about, you know, seeing it in other studios and blah blah blah, like I had mentioned. I mean, we've already seen with a very different outcome because of the game that came out, but wasn't it just in the last year or two we heard a lot of similar stuff about Rockstar? Do you remember that? All the crunch and people hating it and trying to finish these big games and blah blah blah. And obviously Rockstar's games have not had the same reaction from people that Anthem had, or Mass Effect Andromeda. But I think the really interesting thing is with the whole BioWare and Anthem thing, even though that article was about Anthem, it really went deep, because like I said, we're barely scratching the surface of that article. If any of that sounds even interesting, the least bit interesting to you, go find it and read it, because it's
you should read it.
Very, very good article.
It's fascinating.
And it goes into, you know, Dragon Age and Mass Effect and Anthem, and one of the things, and I think it has to do now with a lot of the disconnect, is even after they finally settled on things, you had one of the studios, because BioWare was what, three separate, not separate studios, but had three areas, and now they're down to two. And even at the end, I believe part of the article said that like Montreal, or I don't know what, Edmonton was kind of the ones who ended up saying, okay, this is what we want to be done, and passing it off to Austin, and Austin was making it. So you had people making it who didn't have that idea for it, and there was just this disconnect. And now, I think from what I understand, it's been passed off to, I think, Austin. But anyway, it's not the people who came up with it who are now in charge of fixing it. Like, they've just changed things so much. I mean, it was just full of turmoil.
Yeah. There are two things.
That Frostbite engine on them, and no one.
Yeah, Frostbite, and that was one of the other reasons. It wasn't the reason I sent it to you, because I thought the article was really good in general, but it was interesting that not only was Destiny mentioned specifically in the article, but the way it was is that devs there saying that they weren't allowed to say Destiny. They weren't allowed to talk about Destiny. It was, no, we're not Destiny. We're not going to be like Destiny. Don't mention it. Don't use it as a comparison. Nothing. Don't say the word Destiny, which is.
That's stupid.
That's weird.
Just from a business mindset, that is bad. You know, you're supposed to take from the mistakes and winnings of other people and learn from them. But also related to Destiny, it was really interesting reading that article and hearing things that reminded me of things Bungie devs had said, not in terms of like the negative stuff, and but in terms of like production design and what it was like to see their game come to life. For like they talked about the first time the senior guy at, what was it, EA or whatever, saw them fly.
Oh yeah,
for the Swedish guy.
Yeah, the Swedish guy, and he was like, oh, that's it, you know, like when he saw it fly, he's like, do it again. And that reminded me of,
they had just made that decision like that day.
Yes,
like
exactly. And that reminded me of when Bungie devs on Crucible Radio, some of the Crucible guys one time were talking about when they first like made a gun shoot and made like the first playable environment, and it was just like the most basic thing, but it was just the gunplay of two people shoot, or it was the gunplay, and then also it was like a super activation the first time, and I can't remember which super it was, but it was like a Titan Slam or something like that, and they were like, this is it. This is the game, you know, this is what we're doing. And it reminded me of a similar thing. And it wasn't like upper head pressure that they were talking about that saw it. It was just the excitement in the room of them seeing their game for the first time. I just think that's such an interesting aspect, even though this article focused much more on the business side of thing. I just thought the comparisons were interesting. But one other thing before I let it go, because this is like the last thing that I had to say about it, I think, is that the culture of them talking about those different studios y'all were just talking about, how they kind of viewed them as like A, B, and C, or like first class, you know, and some of them thought lesser of the other, like from the outside and from the in. I've never felt that way about any of the studios working with Bungie. Like, obviously Bungie is like, it's their game, but even when they passed it off to Vicarious Visions or, you know, other people to work on it, I always, like, the community was always positive towards those companies. I felt like I never felt like one was like, you know, like, oh, this DLC is being made by, you know, VV, and so I don't know, you know, like, I never felt that way.
Even if that did happen, and I'm not saying it would be right, it would still be different, because you're still talking about, this is our game, we brought these other people on to help. And I'm not saying, oh, that makes them less at all. I'm not saying that.
For sure.
But this is just two different headquarters of
the same
one
company.
Studio. Yeah.
One studio,
and there was a point in that article, I don't think they went too deep into it, but where they said that they felt like they were almost like pitted against each other. Like,
oh, yeah.
I think Austin said they felt like they were the grunts, because Edmonton was designing this game and then saying, here, like, code it, make it happen, you know?
Yeah.
So it
makes me really hope that the Destiny, like Bungie, that the devs for PvE or PvP never feel that way about each other, you know, because there's certain people, I know they're in charge of the sandbox as a whole, and maybe that helps the everybody stay together in that mindset, but I hope that they never see each other as like, this is really important because of this, or this is, because sometimes the community can feel that way with Destiny, with all the talk about cutting PvP recently and all that stuff. You know, I don't know. I just hope that doesn't happen in the studio.
Does anybody know what engine is Destiny built on? Does anybody know?
It's their own, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why we always talk about the spaghetti code and stuff.
Yeah, it's their own that they built for Destiny. And actually, now that I think of it, I don't think I've ever known the actual name of their engine.
They may not.
After all these years.
If it's just theirs,
just
they
looked
may
it up
not.
the other day,
Yeah, they
and
may
I
not
forgot.
publish.
Big shocker.
Mana, did you get your words I texted you? Because
Yeah.
chat is pissed that nobody's saying their words. I'm just saying.
Wait,
Hey, I
some
said
of us have
two
said
of
our
mine.
words, and now that the
Man.
5 of us are together and we're basically making
Oh,
virtual, everything
I said
goes
all
one
of
word.
mine already.
Ah, you didn't. Same again.
I don't believe any of you guys said yours. But then again, I've only been here for like 7 minutes.
Did you
so-
get yours though?
Yeah.
I don't think
have
yours
mine
are
up
too
right
bad, except maybe the last one.
I mean, I'll say this as kind of my parting comment is that even though, I think kind of the disconnect here that even though I haven't played a ton of Destiny since the new DLC dropped, I definitely appreciate that they had a vision for this, even though this kind of maybe predates the split with Activision, and they've kind of run with it and they've supported that. And even if I don't love Gambit as much as I've loved other things that they've done, I do appreciate that everything that all the efforts are doing are kind of leading to one particular, all moving in the same direction as opposed to the competition that we talked about internally. So it does give me hope for the future, and it does give me, a reason to want to keep playing the game other than just playing with you guys. But I'm sure you guys will talk about that, and I will catch you all later.
Okay,
Thanks,
Trenton's
Trey.
gonna take off, y'all.
He has to
wanna
poop.
Wish him the best
Don't.
tonight.
I like big
Has to
poop.
poop.
Yeah.
He just leaves.
All right, so
Quick one.
quickly while we're in this god damn it, in this lull here, part of my week,
So professional.
and also why
damn
I'm upset about with Mana is
Oh, boy.
last evening I received a text, not from Mana but from one of his roommates, who said, "Hey, we're in Pittsburgh on our way to said restaurant. You should come." I was in the middle of cooking, so I couldn't make it. But not only did no one tell me until they were in Pittsburgh, but it wasn't even Mana. Mana didn't want anything to do with me.
Maybe he asked his roommate to send you that text.
To be fair, before Mana responds, it was a Wednesday night again. Just like
Which-
last time they came to town.
Which I have something to say to that. Okay, so
Don't call it.
I do want to say
Wednesday
before
night.
you respond, I do thoroughly enjoy your haircut. You look very good today.
I
He
thank you.
does look handsome
Yeah.
as fuck.
No,
But
go ahead.
I bet he was like, "It's Wednesday night. Don't call this guy.
All right.
I can't do this again."
But that's actually what I told him. I didn't mean it, but that's actually what I told him.
I knew it.
But no, the reason is it's pretty bad actually because they actually told me to hit you up before we left the house,
Oh, weird.
and I spaced out. I
Spaced
just-
out? Spaced out?
But, no,
Or
here's
thought
the thing.
internally, there's no fucking way.
No. So
I'm assuming the latter.
the plan was it was supposed to happen next week. Okay, we're supposed to go out next Thursday.
Oh, that's weird because I'm on vacation next week. Wait,
well, that's
no,
just
you are
really
not going out
unfortunate.
next Thursday. We have a podcast.
Well, that's what I don't know. That's what the plan was. First of all, okay.
Okay.
I didn't even.
But no, like the plan was next Thursday, or I guess Wednesday, whenever they're off. It's
Okay.
Wednesday and Thursdays. So until just yesterday, I was at work. I get a text message. We're talking in our little group chat. He's like, "Well, since they're going back home to visit their family next weekend instead, so let's go today." And I'm just like, not even thinking. I'm just like, sure. But as I'm driving home, I'm like, I don't feel like going to Pittsburgh today. I'm like tired. I'm just like, so I'm talking to Gunga. I'm like, I don't feel like going. She's like, then don't. I'm like, maybe I don't. Maybe I won't. So I was just going to bail on him. And he's like, you guys go, I'll stay. But it was a really windy day. Every time it's been really windy, our power has gone out for an entire day. So I'm thinking when I'm home, I'm like, no, it's going to suck if they go to Pittsburgh. And then I decide to stay. I'm just sitting in darkness by myself, and they're just going to shit on me because of it. They're like, look what happened. Look what happened, man. So I'm like, okay, I'll go. And like as I'm like making this decision, they actually told me to hit up Hove, but it was in that transitional phase of me like, So I went and jumped in the shower. I got ready, and then we hopped out, and just I didn't even think about it until we were. What actually brought it up? There's that street. It said Hove was like down or whatever. Hove was not available. at
Oh,
Hove Street or whatever.
HOV
Yeah.
lanes?
Yeah, it was like Hove was not available. They're like, oh hey Hove, by the way, is Hove coming? And I'm like, I didn't invite him. And they're like, what? It's like, it's Wednesday. I ain't inviting him.
Well, most importantly, because I'm a good friend, I'm only concerned about how was dinner.
Oh, it was amazing. We went to that
Texas Day Brazil.
Texas Day Brazil. It was different.
Was it a Brazilian steakhouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, places
I-
Oh, good. I can hear
places are
Yeah.
phenomenal.
It was weird. I never went to anything like that before because like
That's
you
cool.
literally sit there and they come around and give you
Meat.
like
So good.
Yeah. they give you these big metal things just with like what are they called?
Like skewers.
Meat?
Did you eat the
Skewers,
chicken
yeah,
hearts or
skewers.
did you bitch out?
Excuse me?
Did you eat the chicken hearts or did you bitch out?
Was that an option?
It was at the place I did. I ate 2 of them motherfuckers. I was like, hell yeah.
I feel
said,
left out
I'm gonna-
then.
I was like, I'm going to try everything on the menu. And I think it was like 21, 22 different things. And I obviously didn't have like a full-size portion. Keep in mind, this is in Colorado.
Okay.
So I was very hungry.
Oh, I thought you were
And
going to
we
say
went-
very.
Well, that's
so
what he
hungry
was
that
getting
I wanted
at.
the
chicken
reason-
hearts.
Yeah.
I was like, let me get 2.
But
Now you're missing out.
we got there a little late. We only had like an hour to eat. So
At
we
least you
didn't
went
get,
somewhere good
everything.
this time. Next time, listen,
Yeah.
next time,
Don't forget about Carlos.
whatever you guys are coming to Pittsburgh for, let me know. We'll go somewhere awesome.
All right. It'll be like maybe next month we probably come down again. Maybe like once a month we go out, fine dine. We also wanted to go. The original reason was to go down there for that the video game place. The
Are you
retro
talking about
video
the
game place.
exchange?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have anything like that around here other than literally Cleveland or Pittsburgh. And we were trying to decide. We're like, might as well go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
You know,
because
It's like,
Hove
okay.
lives in Pittsburgh.
And then I screwed that up. But anyways, so it was cool. Like Matt bought a PS2, and we bought a whole bunch of PS2 games. I got a 007 Nightfire.
Did you get
We
Twisted
got,
Metal?
no, they didn't have it.
For real?
There's a bunch of games they didn't have, and we were like, what? We got the Star Wars, the Clone Wars. I bought Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. And then Matt ended up coming out of his room. He's like, I already got it. I'm like, crap.
Do you remember the pod racing arcade game?
Yes.
Where you sat and you had the 2
You
throttles
sat-
and
yeah.
you turned. Oh, that was amazing.
yeah.
I liked
Immersive
the,
AF.
The X-Wing one that had the
Yes,
vector
yeah, the
graphics.
X-Wing
It held the vector,
one.
like rainbow graphics, and it was all, wow,
Yeah.
like fucking seizure.
We used to have an
warning.
arcade
reminds-
at the mall, and I always begged my dad, like, let's go there. That's the only game I ever played. That and a Terminator game. Which
Lego's
was-
so mad right now.
Was that the
Um,
Terminator game with the
The
big
railman
gun?
is real. Yes, the gun, and you
Yeah,
click
it had
off to
little button on
reload.
the side and shit. Did you ever play the Aerosmith version of that game?
Yes,
Yeah,
No,
Revolution
I
it's an
haven't.
X,
or some shit.
and you threw CDs. That was your
you
gun?
hit that button on the side, and CDs would go flying out and cut people in half, all while jamming out to Aerosmith. That shit was fucking rad.
That actually,
Yeah,
that's a
man.
thing. But most importantly, did you ever see the movie The Last Starfighter?
Yes.
100%.
No, I did
hell
not.
Yeah.
What?
Last Starfighter.
It
You check it out.
it has to do with space,
Is
aliens,
it
and
old?
video games. Yeah, it's like from the 80s. It's about this arcade machine game.
Let me bring this up so I remember.
And basically what it is, everyone thinks it's just a game, but it's actually like a training simulator for like some intergalactic space fleet. So this kid is really, really good at it, breaks all the records, so these aliens come and pick him up and take him to become the last starfighter and save
Oh.
everybody.
You've never seen that, Mana?
It's like
No,
a
no, I
classic.
haven't.
Seriously,
I
watch
feel
it.
like I should have.
Classic,
Yeah.
I mean, now
Keep
you
that
watch
shit
it in
up.
2019, you're like, this is so cheesy, but like, we're all nerds here. It's about video games and like space fighting. Like, you're gonna like it.
It's 80s.
Also, I don't mind older movies, so
Yeah, man.
We've got Atlas in chat right now. He's like talking about how I'm so mad because we're getting so derailed right now. And then he just yells in all caps, "Hey Lego, did you hear Titans are getting buffed?"
Wow, Lego, that's really cool. So, Last Starfighter. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, wait.
So
Before
the
we
rest of the
move
video
on,
games
because
that we
there is a ton of stuff in the TWA, but I know that Mana just came off from playing on TV stream while he's on vacation. Did you end up loading up some Destiny, Mana?
Yeah, D2. This may have been the first time I played D2 in like a month.
what'd you do
what did
in the
do?
Crucible?
What did you even play? Yeah.
No,
I
What'd
just
you do in
jumped
the
into
Crucible?
I just
I
jumped
heard
into
you-
Crucible. I was actually sniping. I was trying to
Ooh.
last word snipe.
Yeah.
And what's the sniper? The sniper was the first raid sniper. I can't remember what it's
Oh,
called.
Alone is a God?
Alone is a God.
I think I was using
No.
that one.
It can't be that one because you were using last word. So.
Oh no! It was the Trials of the Nine sniper. That's the one I was using.
What
So-
is that one? The Long Walk or something?
I think you're right. Yeah, something similar to that. But I was at my first like 5 games. Oh god, I was so bad. Oh, first of all, I was on 10 sensitivity, and I was trying to figure out why everything fell so fast. Because the last time I played was for Bones and Wolves' a charity stream, and I had a challenge to play. I think inverted 10 sensitivity.
Oh gosh.
I changed to inverted, but I never changed the sensitivity. I was like, wow, this feels so weird. Like everything feels so fast.
Has it been that long?
It's like my movement from like Apex and all that. I felt like a 3-toed sloth compared to Apex.
Yes. I did
But-
I did that same mistake. I played Apex with Hove one night this week. That wasn't necessarily the mistake.
That was a huge mistake.
I was like, dang, man.
But then I swapped over to Destiny and immediately jumped into comp at like
Oh,
3,500 with some people after playing Apex, and I was like, why am I so slow? I can't do anything. I can't run. I can't slide. So yeah, I know that feeling.
It's a weird transition for sure.
But then you did something like drop like a 50 bomb or something like
I
that.
dropped my first 50 bomb, not even on my stream. I was salty about it.
That's why I brought it up.
I almost dropped 2 of them. I dropped a 48 bomb and a 50 bomb, and I'm so salty about it.
Was that last word sniping?
No, it was I ended up switching to a rental and bygones, and it was I forget what map it was, but I was just going crazy. I just felt good.
I thought of you today, Lego, when
I thought you were talking about me.
the
Thought about Lego
gunsmith,
too.
the gunsmith changes where they're gonna
When I was in the shower.
just keep his guns in the loot pool and stuff. And isn't Arantil like his weapon? Like
It is. Yes, it's
Yeah.
very exciting because it's not mentioned in the TWAB, so it's free game right now for us to talk about it. But yeah, one of the changes that's coming next week, I think, April 9th, is that Gunsmith won't be offering like world drops anymore. It'll only be Gunsmith items, so that way it's not just a bunch of random crap that you get.
Why did he ever have other stuff?
I don't know. It's ridiculous. I agree, Hove.
it's a huge loot pool.
But yeah, it's going to be a much smaller loot pool, and that's going to help so much because you put so many weapon parts into it for a chance, and the chance is so low that you'll even get an Arantil. So I'm excited. Good. I've been saving up weapon parts. I got like over 1,000 right now, so that's at least 10, packages.
Don't forget you got to save some for super mods
Right. Yes, and I've
because
got
you
tons
got to
of
buy mod
mods.
components from Ada.
Yeah, and I already have a ton of mod components. I just need to.
It's 10 per, so you're gonna need at least 50 mod components to have a whole set.
I've got 30 right now, and I already
no
have
mod
some super
components
mods.
at all.
I don't know what that is.
Man,
It's bad.
dude, super mods are disgusting in
They're
the
so
competitive
good.
scene right now, man. You could hang out and like eat dinner, and as long as you don't get booted from the game, you're gonna have. And if the game goes the distance, you're gonna have guaranteed 3 supers, like without even doing
One of my first games today, it was just a full team using those. They have to be because it was just super after super after super.
Did they have
And it was driving me
scories?
crazy.
it. Yeah, they were scoring,
Scoring, yeah.
all hopped up on scories.
Stories. Oh my gosh.
Real quick, Destiny-ish, but it made me think of this because of super mods, things people have complained about, how my mind works. So, do you know how people get really upset that your Guardian doesn't talk, right? Like, that has become a big point, which I still think, like, I don't care. At least, Ghost talks, so there's some conversation, blah, blah, blah. I have not heard a single person bring up the fact that for all the good things that everybody really likes about The Division, and I am enjoying the hell out of it, your character, who is a normal-ass human being, doesn't speak. Ever.
Really?
So, like, there's parts where you'll go to, like, a settlement, and this dude's telling you this story about, oh, these people disagreed with me, and they left, and they're out on their own, and they're going to be attacked. We need your help. Please go help them. And your guy just stands there for a second and then walks away. And there's no one to talk for you like your Ghost. There was one part where you're going into this one district, the historic district of DC, and you kill all the bad guys, and then you walk up to this house and you hear people inside go, "No, don't open the door. We don't know who it is." And somebody goes, "It could be the Division. They're here to help." and then you walk in and they're all huddled in the corner, like scared of you until they realize who you are. And you just kind of walk through the house, like looking for loot and don't say a word. Don't like what? Like that makes a hell of a lot less sense to me.
Was it
Super
also
sketchy.
like that in the first division?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
No, I don't think your dude talked in the first division either, but it sounds like you're having more interactions with people in the second one, and that super awkward. Some dude just busts up in your home and
Right.
get up and starts rooting through your shit. Yo, where the food
Especially
at?
when they're like, it could be the division. It's just like, you know.
Yeah,
I
you
might
just
get shot,
walk into
like,
this house and just
walk
kind of
in.
like walk around. You
Okay.
don't say a
Okay.
word. And like I said, it's even weird too when it's just you and another character in a cutscene, and he's telling you this story about how he needs your help and all this stuff, and then you like stand there for a second and maybe go, and like nod your
Your
head, and then
character's just giving him the stare of disdain, like, really, I have to do all this?
and then just walk away. And I haven't heard a single person mention that. Again, I still don't really care, but it's way more weird in that.
Honestly, silent protagonists are pretty lame. The only game that I don't mind is Legend of Zelda. Anything else, it is.
But here's the thing for me. It could,
Nailed it.
for me, it's a only positive possibility. Like, if they don't talk, I don't care as long as the game's good. If they do talk and the dialogue's good, it's a plus.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
them not talking doesn't take anything away from me. If anything, it's kind of funny because then I laugh
Well,
about it.
Maybe this is the reason why people complain about it in Destiny, because the ghost does talk and it doesn't represent you, and so you feel kind of betrayed sometimes. You're like, I wouldn't say that, you know, like.
But you don't get to control what any like. If it was
Yeah.
your character talking, I would still say like that's not me talking. Like,
Yeah,
That's
I
like I like the games where like your character talks, but you're given some dialogue options, like yo, mana, don't touch me there.
that
you know,
almost
like,
pisses
sort
me
of
off
thing.
more because none
You
of
can
them
touch me there.
anything I would say ever.
I lied. He can touch me.
So,
there.
do you know what dialogue
Nice.
I will say I enjoy in the Division 2? For whatever reason, the enemy AI, they swear a lot. Random shit. They'll be in the middle of this giant fight. You already killed like 10 of them, and one of them will just randomly go, "Fuck the Division!" And you're like, oh, all right. Like, it's not like when they're attacking you. It's like in the middle of a giant firefight, and someone will just yell, "Fuck you! Fuck the Division!" And we're like, all right, man. It's the fucking Division. Like, we laugh now and say that the game should have just been called the fucking Division. Okay, I'm
Rated
done.
them.
yeah, thinking about that.
I agree though. That's weird. I feel like it just creates awkward scenarios, like silent protagonists, like sometimes. But like you said, like in D2, the ghost takes over.
Yeah, at least
feel
there's
like that's
some
just-
response.
It's just the cheese. I don't know why they did that though. I feel like it's just weird.
I know.
I don't
Now
like,
that now I'm thinking on it, I don't really think of that, but now that I am, I'm just like,
Blake, do you really like?
that annoys me.
Do you really
will-
like care that
I-
much?
I feel like I've started
Kinda.
thinking about the ghost more because
I like
of the
characters you play
drifters,
as. You know?
the drifters line, and how he talks about how don't listen to the ghosts, like they're against you. Like he is all about like don't listen to your ghosts. Like it's on the traveler's side. You're not like even though you're using that power, you're not a part of it, kind of deal. And it makes me think about what my ghost says because he doesn't trust his ghost. So I don't know. It's given me a whole new. This whole season has given me a different perspective on the light and Destiny in general, especially Wilson. We were all talking about the lore that first week, where you side with the Drifter or not, and he goes through talking about how when he first spawned up, the Iron Lords that would come through, or the Warlords and stuff, and then also on top of that, all this lore coming out for the 9 right now. There's that Awoken that leaves the Queen, can't come back to the Queen's place, and she comes to Earth to try and get someone to come back to the Queen, I think, or something like that. And then that Awoken dies on Earth from like, you know, the Warlords or something, and then gets raised by the Traveler, and then is walking around not knowing what's going on, and like, you know, all these crazy things start happening. But it just sheds like a very gray light on everything that is happening with the Traveler and those that are blessed by the light. So I don't
yeah,
know.
it's crazy that emissary of the 9 used to be a guardian,
Mhm.
Yeah,
basically.
crazy.
It's super
Orin.
trippy, juicy,
Orin Swift. No one knows. Who that
juicy
is.
lore.
I'm really behind on this stuff because this is all interesting to me, actually.
Dude, man, in all seriousness, the lore,
It's so
like,
good.
the gameplay, like, whatever. I'm not going to argue with anyone who says they aren't enjoying the game right now, but holy hell, the lore and the story is light years better than it used to be. I mean, it's incredible.
The narrative
what they're
content
doing. Yeah.
is 9.5 out of 10. Like, and
Yeah.
the only reason why I'd give it a 9.5 is because I want more. But like, I get it; it's not feasible.
Well, what was really cool, I guess Hove hasn't seen it yet because you're 1 week behind on the Zerb bounties, right? But you've probably seen images of it on Twitter already. No,
I don't know. Just talk. Go.
So this week, whenever you do the Zerb bounty and you go to see the 9, you spawn in to the area before before you jump into the teleporter thing. You spawn into, like, as if you were going in to play the Reckoning. And if you look around, you can see this giant, like, cloud figure before you jump into the portal and go to where the 9 are and see the Mara Sov cloud. You can see it in the distance in, like, the normal area before you jump in. And I was like, what is that? What is that thing over there? And then I jumped into the portal, and it's like you see a giant cloud image of Marasov, and this story, like, kind of continues and tells you a little bit about what's happening. But it's so, like, it's so, like, pointing to the future of what's coming, but also it feels very dark and heavy too, given you know where the emissary comes from now and everything. I don't know. It's crazy right now.
It's definitely setting some stuff up for D3 / the last year of D2, in my opinion. Lego, next time you go, you do your invitations of the 9 thing, and you go back on the Drifter ship. Turn around, go up the catwalk, and go to the left, and you can go back into the Drifter's ship, kind of in, like, his personal quarters. And if you side with the Vanguard, that whole fucking hallway is just full of trip mines. So, like, keep you
I've done
out of
that.
there.
Oh.
Yeah,
but, like,
so
if
it's
you're
not there if you sided with the Drifter.
It's not there on my Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there's actually a
Weird.
part, I don't know, I didn't do Vanguard, but there's a part in the Allegiance quest where you go back there.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if that was
You
part
have
of
to,
Vanguard or
yeah.
not.
But also, I'm always reminded of those mines because when you spawn into the ship, you hear this, like, all the mines activate. And every time it trips me out because I'm like, wait, what was that noise? Is there something back there? And I walk back there, and there's all the trip mines waiting for you.
Is there 15 hunters throwing trip mines? What the hell is that noise? Like,
Yeah, it sounds weird. Yeah, story's good right now. Story's good.
Honestly, and it's you're missing it. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you should check out some videos on YouTube. Just, like, watch some more stuff.
I need to, like, just catch up with some videos probably because I've been going real hard on the single player games, like, real hard lately.
Did you finish
I'm working-
Spider-Man yet?
I was just about to say I'm working up, and the next game is going to be Spider-Man.
You know, I don't know if I've ever brought this up before, but you know,
There's so much hate between us right now.
I bought man a Spider-Man so that he could play it. And he
You
never
brought
played
it up before. Yeah.
I know I brought it up. That was I know.
Okay.
Another thing I'm
world
not sure if I
knows.
ever brought up, but in the
the
same
world
vein,
knows.
I bought Lego this
Thank
miniseries.
Thank you. Yeah.
I just want to point out who's the thoughtful generation.
No.
Everyone thinks Lego's the nice guy on this podcast.
There's a TWAB that has a lot of stuff in it this week. I'm serious too. Like, we've got to get to it because there's so much crap. So Arc Week's coming up, and there is a ton of stuff and a lot of. Did you guys see any confirmation that these changes are just for Arc Week, or is this, like, permanent? Because it's treated as permanent, so I'm guessing.
I think it's permanent. I think it's subclass changes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they're
subclass
permanent.
changes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Arc Week's coming, and basically they're using that as an excuse to do a sandbox change where all the Arc subclasses are the main ones that are being focused on, particularly the old Arc subclasses. So Titan, both the top tree and bottom tree, Arc Strider top tree, bottom tree, and Stormcaller top tree, bottom tree. And there's also 2 other changes to Voidwalker got to change, Dawnblade got to change, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, the Voidwalker, I'll cover that one real quick because that one got nerfed to the ground. Nova Warp did originally, and they kind of brought it back up. They were like, yeah, we know we nerfed it to the ground, so now energy when you use it only costs 20%. And they're like adjusting like the duration of it is longer. Basically, all the things that used to take up its energy are way the heck reduced by at least like.
So just for clarification, it's not that it takes 20%; it's reduced by 20%.
Reduced by 20, yeah, a lot
from
of them,
what it was,
like,
yeah.
And the super lasts longer, 18 seconds to 22 seconds too. So,
it's always good if you can last longer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, stamina is a good thing. I'm pretty excited about the bottom tree Arc Strider. The disorienting blow. They're gonna increase the distance by 50%, and then
that's strong.
Give it like an extra half a second for the actual like disorienting them and stuff like that. And that thing is super useful, man. Like I have rushed shotgunners that should have me dead to rights, and when I punch them and disorient them, they just can't turn quick enough to hit me with the shotgun. And now I'm even gonna have like an extra half a second to do that. So
yeah,
I'm pretty excited about that. And then increased for focused breathing, they're basically doubling the amount, the recharge
100%.
bonus to get your dodge back. So you sprint, it helps the cooldown for your dodge. It's now going to do it twice as fast. So some of these changes are pretty cool, man. Some of them are very significant. No word on I mean, there is a little bit of a word on Spectral, but like nothing in here on this one, unfortunately, about Spectral.
It is nice that they acknowledge like, hey, it's performing outside the range that we want it to. Let me look at their exact wording here. They said, what about Spectral Blades? We know it's out of bounds and are working right now on a few tweaks to bring it back in line. So they know it's performing outside of the limits that are the norm for Crucible. So they're going to be taking a look at that, and they'll get back with us, which I think is fine. It's not like, I don't know, it's strong, like no doubt, but I'm glad that they're looking with all these other supers getting buffed. I'm curious to see how it will play out. The striker changes, because that is a class that I run a lot. I feel like the bottom tree getting that melee damage bonus increase from 25% to 60% is pretty massive. Like some of the, and I know I'm not going to be able to say like, oh, this is going to be great with that until I actually play it. But also now it also triggers once you have dealt 60% damage to a target. And any damage done after 60% will refresh the timer. So I don't know, it seems pretty strong to me. And then also there's that frontal assault perk on the bottom tree, which increases all weapon damage for the duration of the buff, which is 25% against combatants and 20% against players.
That's really good, man.
Pretty crazy. Yeah,
it's like, it's buffs, you know what I mean? Like that's the great thing. This is like a massive list full of buffs. Like the while you're dodging in your super and Arc Strider, they increase the damage resistance from 25 to 40%. Like that's huge. Like you're gonna be able to chain so many more kills with that, and I can't wait. It's gonna be good, because I actually like running that over Spectral Blades for some reason. I feel like I can combat a Spectral Blade a little easier. I don't know why. It feels like it's the Pole Dancer feels like it has like a bigger radius, like a little bit more forgiving with your swipes, whereas Spectral seem to be, and this is kind of laughable, but slightly more pinpointed. You know what I mean? Like you make that lunge and go in for the kill, whereas the Arc Strider kind of puts out like a wave of energy. It seems like. So
I've always thought, and you know, cue the jokes. I've always thought the Arc Hunter was like the coolest. It's the Pole Dancer. I thought had the coolest super and most fun. All right.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I
had
knew
to get that out.
Yeah, no, I really do. Like that was like, I think it's a
super
really
dope.
cool, like doing your staff all over the place and all
It's
that.
very
crazy
acrobatic.
Shit. Yeah.
Did you see the Reddit post calling for, a lot of people were calling for, there was this helicopter move it used to be able to do. I don't know if it was in the beta or they just showed it off in videos or something, but like when you jumped in the air, you do this helicopter attack thing. And a lot of people are like, bring it back is so cool. And so I saw, I think Dylan or Cosmo, one of them responded and was like, well, we're passing along the info that y'all want the helicopter attack back, you know, which it was cool. I don't know why they took that out. Sounds awesome.
It's just like
you
can
more
glide
visual
like a warlock.
satisfaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Make it
some
so
sort
you
of
can
kung
glide
fu
like
master with a pulse, whatever it's called. And I'm like, hey! You know,
Oh my god.
It's such a great
You know?
Superman.
I don't know.
I'm really
That's why I
excited
hear.
to see how it
That's why I
plays
hear.
out with all these buffs. Like it,
Yeah.
That's what I
it's
should
gonna
hear
be-
too. Yeah,
It's gonna be very different. So
imagine you're a guardian doing that. You just jump with, you know, a pole in your hand. I'm not going to say it again, but you know,
What
just
was
making
it?
that
No,
noise.
I missed it the first time.
I don't remember.
I actually
Could've
would
been a
really
sub
like
alert.
if there was sound effects. Like there definitely would need to be somewhere that we would need like a mana squeal.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
a
Maybe
sub
like
alert.
when you're like attacking with a super and then you get shut down, you hear a squeal.
Oh, that's good. I like that. They had some Stormcaller buffs, and I know that is a class that you play frequently, but you more play for the like laser beams.
If I'm playing Warlock, yeah, that whatever that's called is my
Uh-huh.
favorite. But my Warlock's fallen quite far behind my Hunter. I've been
Really?
kind of
Okay,
back to being
okay.
a Hunter main again.
Gotcha. Well, they did bump up. I thought that this one was really interesting. Was for top and bottom path on the Stormcaller, the damage scales up to 150% over 5 seconds of continuous use of the Stormcaller attack, which makes sense for if you're playing PvE. You know how the other super is so strong whenever you got 4 of the laser beam Stormcallers like going against a Gambit boss. You're like, well, obviously, why wouldn't I do that? Now you have the storm can take out multiple enemies, and if you hold down the super for 5 seconds, it'll start doing 150% more damage. That sounds pretty good.
It really needed it, and
yeah.
it's cool the way that they chose to go about doing it instead of just like intervals like people used to do in
Yeah.
D1, where
Right.
like you wouldn't hold down R2.
Uh-huh.
So it's really cool that like you're getting the quote unquote risk reward, like the risk of using more of your super, but kicking out a lot more damage. 150% more.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's
It
like
really
one and a
needed it,
half
man.
times almost.
Almost, dude. But like it really needed.
Oh shit.
I was kidding, Hove.
No, I just
but, like-
looked and my eyes look crooked again. Now I'm mad.
Oh my god! Last week when you sent that picture of
Sloth.
Sloth from Goodies, you're like, "This is what I fucking look like."
Mana, do you
right
think
now."
this eye's
Like,
lower
and
than this
Mana-
eye?
Mana just goes, "What?"
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Mana saw it in chat, and he was like, what is this?
Doesn't my face look crooked now? Doesn't it bother you? It's
I
crooked.
don't see it.
You're freaking out, dude.
You're freaking out. Yeah.
Alright.
And I thought the chain lightning thing to the top path of Stormcaller sounded cool. Where if this is the one where they were like, we're not even going to tell you how many times it can chain back and forth between people. You're just going to go have to play it and find out.
Because they don't know.
Which I never play that subclass, but it sounds really cool. It sounds awesome. Which, by the way, I meant to tell you, Hove. I was playing Crucible the other day, and I saw someone do. You know how we always talk about that arc melee that shoots a melee out, and then
Yeah.
it does like a lightning bolt down. I saw
Yeah.
somebody use that against a Titan in a barricade, and it looked awesome.
Yeah,
and they just
I've done that.
took them out
When that
immediately.
first like came out, I did that a lot because you could use it like people hiding behind any kind of cover. Like you get
Yeah.
someone weak, they duck behind cover, you just melee. It's awesome.
It looks awesome. Yeah, it's really cool. It made me kind of want to play Stormcaller.
You're really
a
cool.
little.
It made me question what the heck I saw because I didn't realize they had that.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and I'm just like, did they just try to shoulder charge me? I'm like, wasn't that a hunter? What did I just see? And immediately I'm like, he's hacking. He's cheating. They can't do that.
How did he melee up and over this wall?
Yeah, that's why it's like, I've never seen that before. That's not in the game. He's cheating.
It's a really cool ability.
Yeah.
The one that was really crazy to me though was they did give for the bottom path the extended duration of Arc Soul by 50%, which they just got that exotic that gives you like a buffed mega Arc Soul basically. And that thing, I was playing against somebody who had a bow, who had what's the exotic one? The
Le Monarch.
No.
yeah,
Monarch.
Oh.
yeah, Le Monarch. Someone was using that, and it gets you down to almost nothing if you get a headshot with that. And then they're using Arc Soul with it too, so the Arc Soul would tag you, and then they'd hit you and it'd one-shot you every time.
Did you actually not remember the name, or did you just not want to say it wrong again?
No, I couldn't remember it. I was trying to remember. I was like, was it because there's the
what is it?
Trinity, the
Monarch.
Oh,
the
I know.
Monarch, yeah.
All right.
Oh, you were wanting him to.
I was wondering why you were just randomly giggling. I'm just like,
Because
what did?
it's funny when
I
Lego
thought
calls it
Lego
like the
said
lemon arc.
Lemon Arc,
That's what a lot of
the
people-
lemon bow.
Yeah. That thing's a pain in the ass, man. If you get that perfect
It's
draw
good.
with a headshot, like Lego said, it takes you down absolute body shot, headshot. You're gonna get cleaned up pretty quick.
Yeah.
So,
So
if you
the
pair it
Arc
with that
Soul-
Arc Soul, it's
Mhm.
nasty.
Clean you up, yeah.
Nasty.
Like a
Also,
janitor.
there's a lot of people running hand cannon, like a really fast like hand cannon that you can pull out really quickly. Because if you can switch weapons and get that lock on really fast, it's just like bow hand cannon. Like it's like
Right.
sniper, body shotting basically. It's,
Pretty much what I was doing earlier because I
Oh,
couldn't
really?
get headshots to save my life. Yeah, yeah, it was bad.
Hey, whatever works, man.
I was getting kills, so I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not pretty, but I'm not doing bad, right?
I don't know what you're saying.
Getting the kill.
There are new catalysts coming too. We got Prospector, Rat King, Hardlight, and Suros Regime. Which Suros Regime is one of my favorite auto rifles right now.
Really?
So I'm really curious what the catalyst is gonna do for it, because it's a good gun. It's not it's not better than the meta, but it can definitely do some work. I got my first 2 Weerans, or not Weerans, Sum of All Tiers in Rumble with a Suros, out of all things. So
I hope the hard light catalyst takes away the annoying roller coaster screen shake effect.
yeah, maybe it'll get a new. Oh no, I'm thinking ornament. Yeah, no, maybe you're right, Wilson.
I'm being a smart ass, but that'd be cool
I mean,
if that
you
just
never know.
inadvertently did that. Then they're like, that's how we're gonna fix it.
Wonder what the extra perk will be on these though. You know how they always extra thing that they do.
They're all
Wonder
going to
what
be
they're gonna
one-shot
be.
kills.
Rat King one shot.
Imagine.
Dude, actually DFP was running, Sheik was running the Rat King crew where they were doing that, all running together and just shutting down supers. And then there was another team that he had just released a video that was a bunch of the, what is it? Skyburner's Oath?
Yeah,
scout
Skyburner's
rifle. And so he released a video of Skyburner's Oath where they were just 6 people running it, and it just looked like a freaking flaming arrows at the
Dude.
other team.
The
Watch your
Fire
mouth.
Nation attacked hardcore.
Yes, that's it. The Fire Nation, yes. And so somebody saw that video that he did, and when they matched up against Destiny Fun Police running the Rat King crew, where there were all 6 of them running Rat King, the other team put on all Skyburners.
That's awesome.
And so it was just Rat King versus Skyburners the entire game. It's an awesome video. You check it out on YouTube or Twitter or something.
I actually ran into someone today using the Skyburner's Oath. I'm just like, oh, I'm like, someone actually tries to use that? I'm like, I wonder if he saw the video that she did.
Yeah.
That's a gun that I
Because you
always
never
wanted.
see that.
I always wanted to be like really good. Like I liked it from the beginning, like the idea
Right.
of it. And
I got it right before the very first raid launch, and I was like, dude, this
So did I.
this gun's going to destroy in the raid, right? And I'm like, okay, maybe not.
Maybe.
I got screwed. My first D2 exotic was Cold Heart, and you were supposed to get it at the end, but because I had already unlocked it via an exotic engram, I didn't get it at the end of the campaign as a powerful drop back in. So
Oh,
yeah,
lame.
Actually, that may have happened to me too. Now that I think of it, because something happened with Cold Heart. I'm like, wait, what? People were telling me, I'm like, was I not supposed to? Like,
yeah,
what happened?
yeah.
Weird.
Talk about Cold Heart, man. When Cold
I got
Heart was
boned
good,
hard.
you just had a million ammo for Cold Heart, and it was just great, and it just melted. I miss that, by the way.
I don't.
Good.
I miss it so much. No, hardly anyone used it, but it was like a diamond in the rough, dude. You know?
Dude, people are still using what is it? Not Cold Heart.
Wave Splitter?
Yeah.
Wave Splitter. Dude, Wave Splitter is still really good. If you
Still haven't got one.
Oh man, I'll let you
I
know
just-
if Zur sells it, Mana, because he's selling
All right.
Forsaken stuff.
Oh.
now, so
Speaking of Zur,
yes, no, I was gonna say there's a lot of random stuff, like random other upgrades here, and one of them is Zur.
Did your face just go super blurry? Was that just me, by the way?
were my eyes crooked?
No, not yours. No, no, it was Legos. Legos, like, it almost looked like you went super fast and there was just a blur.
I do that.
Yeah.
sometimes.
No,
Yeah.
it kind of like it was just But anyway,
I'm just really
Zur-
fast.
Zur's
Too
gonna
fast
have-
for the camera.
Zur's gonna have random rolls on armor now, right?
Random rolls
okay.
on exotics, yeah. So, which has been a big problem because it's so you rarely get exotic drops, and like, what are the odds that it would be the roll that you want? So then now that I guess since because he already did like sometimes good rolls, so I'm guessing that this means that whenever you buy the armor piece from him, it has no stats. It applies the stats when you buy them, so you could buy as many as you want and just keep re-rolling it basically until you get the thing that you're looking for, which is fantastic for armor. Like, that's gonna be so good.
Stompies with traction, baby. Let's go.
Do you remember
Yeah,
reforging?
stuff like that. Or
I do. I wasted a lot of time reforging the perfect effort each spear.
You
And
got
then I
final round,
eventually-
didn't you? You disgusting.
I ended up deleting it because a lot of people were accusing me of using final round. even when I'm just like, look at it, it does not have final round. I just like those archetypes because the black hammer and all
They're
those.
good, yeah.
I love those slow but powerful archetypes. I don't understand it.
It's like me.
Miss glass
So-
I'm
needles.
slow and powerful.
no.
I miss
Sure?
the glass needle system. I think that
Yeah.
was a little bit better. Normally, I wouldn't be complaining about legendary shards or anything, but since Season of the Drifter has come out, I think I've spent like 3,000
What do you use them on?
Drugs.
mod components from
Oh,
Vita.
mod
It was.
component.
What
I
did
was
you
going to
say,
say the same thing. It's bad. Like I literally was thinking the same exact thing to say. Randomly.
What did you say?
Drugs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was literally about to spurt out drugs.
Ether seeds, gotta have them.
The
Gotta have those
devil's
blue
lettuce.
polyphages on the low.
Devil's lettuce.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
man.
Gotta have it.
Nice.
But yeah, I wish glass needles would come back, but this is cool too because now I can hopefully finally get stompies with traction.
It is interesting that they didn't sell the glass needles, but I think I understand because if he sold glass needles, then there'd be no, if you got a bunch of them, there'd never be a reason to log in and go to Zur. Whereas now it's exciting. It's going to be exciting every weekend because not only could he sell a Forsaken exotic weapon you don't have, but also he could sell the armor you've been waiting for him to sell that you can just keep buying and get the roll that you want. So
I feel you on that, and I agree with you. But like eventually, everybody that plays the game enough will get to a point where Zur has nothing for them like to be offered. But it's prolonging. Like now, you got to wait for him to sell that piece of armor. Like who knows when the next time it could be stompies. Whereas if he just sold glass needles, you could just go re-roll your stompy. You know what I mean?
I think I like that though. Like I know
I
it's
don't.
an artificial like thing, but I think that that's kind of the nature of like RPG stuff. I don't know. I'm not a huge RPG person, so I guess I can't say that. But for me, like as someone who likes logging in all the time and playing Destiny, like it gives me incentive and excitement towards the weekend. Where if I had glass needles. And I did in Destiny 1, and I was never excited about Zur. And if it's artificially making me excited about Zur, I think I'm cool with that. But I hear your argument and that you're not.
I feel
and
ya.
I
just
hear your side.
There's enough shit that when I log in on Tuesdays, I'm like, is it this Nightfall this weekend? Is this available this week? What about that? Now I gotta juggle Zur on top of all of it. You know what I mean? Like,
See, that's more stuff. See, I have the opposite reaction. I'm like, oh, it's this Nightfall. Cool. I can get that. Because this week I actually am excited to get that sniper. I'm like, oh, maybe I should go and do that. That's one more thing I could do. So it's interesting that you have the opposite reaction to it. I don't disagree with what you're saying.
I like a
'cause
little
I
bit.
hear it.
I just don't like it with everything where it's like, what am I going to do this? Like, eventually it's going to get to a point where it's just like, Jesus, man, like, is everything in this game RNG? Like, I like some consistency with stuff. Like,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? I like some RNG. I don't like it in everything. I don't want to start my car tomorrow and have RNG. I mean, like, some things I just want to fucking do.
I mean,
That would suck.
That would suck. Yeah.
No, it's not RNG right now, Hove, because I take care of my fucking car.
that's not
Dude,
even
what if
close to what I was saying. What?
I have a fantastic idea for a
He felt
Destiny
threatened by you, like
exotic.
about to say something.
Wow. I just want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I just wanted to look like a badass and play it
Same.
like I was mad at you. And
I kind of want some flapjacks. Not gonna lie.
Mm.
Okay, your car RNG made me think of the best Destiny exotic. It would be so stupid, but it would be awesome. Where it has RNG perks, not when you get it, but when you shoot it. So it re-rolls the perks like every
mid-game?
time, like every game or every I don't know how long it would reset, because every shot wouldn't really work. But if
every
it was
time
like,
you miss a shot.
oh, every time you're alive, like every time you spawn in, it just has a random set of perks. And they would all be good perks, but they would always change. Like, there's no trash perks on it. They're all like the best stuff, like Rampage, Kill Clip, stuff you would want. You just would never know what it was.
For some reason, I thought you were going to completely opposite. Like, I thought maybe like when you spawn, you have like, you got like a hand cannon. Like one time it shoots like normal bullets, other time it shoots maybe rockets, other time it's a freaking fusion rifle, and you're just like finger banging it to see what is going to happen next. You know?
Wow, that was
Yes.
impressive, actually, Mana.
Yeah,
that
was really impressive.
Good one, Mana.
So here's the
Just
problem with that,
finger
Lego. It would be fun and not the absolute pinnacle best loadout. So all of a sudden, so everyone will shit on it.
But
no
it
one will wanna
could
use
be
it.
sometimes, like Wave Splitter.
Listen, Lego. That's not good enough.
See, that's why they need to do a forced comp playlist where they force what weapons you use.
Forced cop?
Forced comp playlist where it's just like you go in, you don't go in with whatever you have on. When you spawn, you have that loadout. So it's just like boom, randomized. Like you don't know what everyone in the game, you don't know what's going to happen.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
because people trying to grind for a high rank aren't going to flip shit when they end up with 4 fucking sidearms and the other team has all rocket launchers.
No, everyone, both teams.
Man,
You
I
know?
hear what you're saying, and I like that idea. I don't think it should be, but I would love for there to be a mode that is like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying like have it be the comp,
Okay.
but
know
like
what their version
maybe
of
like
gun
side.
game?
I want
Yeah,
gun game.
Pretty much.
Gun game would be
Gun
so
game would
fun
be.
in Destiny.
You know how many? Okay, there's another thing with RNG. What guns is it going to choose for you, like in the bundle? Because there's a bunch of different guns in Destiny. So
As
I'm
long
not
as-
just saying for your character, but everyone's working for that set random guns, and then the next game maybe you're going.
I mean,
up
there's
into
enough.
different ones.
There's
know?
enough that it could
Yeah.
just be each tier is a
Exotic.
type of weapon. No,
Or
you get
type,
a
yeah.
sidearm, an auto rifle, a sniper, a fusion as you work your way up. But which one it
Yeah.
is every time is random.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
gun game
that's
would be
kinda what I'm
amazing.
saying,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
no,
like-
I know.
But like
Maybe.
everyone has those sets because let's face it,
Listen,
some guns suck compared to others, and that sucked to get that poopy one. And
I'm
they
putting
get
my
the
foot
goddamn-
down right now. If gun game doesn't come with
Prove it.
V3, I'm quitting.
Shut up. You are not. You would not quit if Gun
Dang.
Game was not in it. But real quick, Hove, I want to go back to something that you said real quick because I'm completely against your opinion that
Weird.
if it's not meta, it shouldn't be in the game.
I did not say
Alright,
that.
should-
That was sarcasm.
You okay? Because I wanted to say that.
So you did say it.
Here's the thing.
Fuck off,
Some-
Wilson.
Some people really think that if a gun is not, the best or can compete, that it's not worth having. And I think
That's what I
that-
was like.
sarcastically joking at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's worth pointing out that Destiny could use the infusement of fun in it, like gun game, but with exotic, that is just ridiculous and may not be the best, but sometimes might be, and it'd just be ridiculous. Sure, the comp scene wouldn't like that, but Destiny
Yeah.
could use some
What
fun.
I said
Yeah.
was, Lego, we can't have that gun. It would be fun, but not top
Oh,
tier. We can't
didn't
have
hear
that
you
in this
say
game.
fun.
Yeah, no, because you don't listen. I'm just
You're
kidding.
right. I don't.
Wilson,
I
you
don't
need to
listen
say
at
your
all.
words.
We were just expecting you to be hella toxic.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the toxic
And
one.
listen to you say your words like I'm here for your entertainment. Like I'm fucking Tom Hanks from fucking Joe versus the Volcano. Over
I'm
here or
proud of
some
you.
shit.
Did you Google that?
Uh-huh.
Ah, shit.
I did. Actually, I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was like a board game or something.
I was gonna actually give you all Tom Hanks movies, but
By the way, we bought Risk on PS2. By the way, just saying.
Oh, Risk is awesome, man.
Risk is
I love
dumb.
Risk.
What?
How dare you? Dude, we went through a phase in our band where like in the green room, every time we finished playing and like before we were supposed to go back up for something, we'd like be in the green room, like making our moves and stuff, and then we'd get called back up for something.
I played
go
Risk
play.
once.
It's so fun. So fun.
Risk is a good time. The first time I played Risk was on the Sega. I had Risk on the Sega before I played the board
Wait.
game.
Wow.
Listen, you guys need to get you guys need to step it up, grow up a little bit. All right, quit playing Risk
What?
and play Candyland. All right.
I played Candyland.
Or
Candyland
listen,
is so good.
can I tell you something funny? Also, have you ever played the Home Alone board game? Do you remember that?
Actually, no, I have
That
not.
was really interesting. You had to like set traps and everything, and because you were Kevin. But anyway,
And Kevin. What?
I said because you were Kevin.
Oh,
Oh, you cut out there for a moment, so he's
Don't
like,
tell me
Kevin.
what to do.
I'm telling you what happened.
I don't know. I had Mousetrap when I was a kid. I'm not sure that I ever actually played a game of Mousetrap. I would just get it out by myself
Yeah.
and just set
Yeah.
it up and just fucking run the thing. Because it was like a little like,
Yeah.
what are they called? What are those things called?
Mice?
No, when you set up
Board
things
game?
that go, they do all those
Traps?
crazy things.
Are
Like
we playing
a ball
Pictionary right
ball
now?
rolls down a hill and it hits this thing and the thing falls down.
momentum.
No,
Pulley, lever.
guys are-
Cause and
worst.
effect.
Yes. Kinetic
I
force.
hate.
Gravity.
What?
Kim said REZOcast Uno. We played Uno as a drinking game down
It was
at
not
Guardian
fun.
Con. Never again.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Never again.
a Rube
man.
Goldberg machine.
I would never
Yeah,
thought about
I would
that,
not
honestly.
have guessed that.
No.
You don't know what that
Rube
is?
Goldberg.
Yeah.
No, I've heard of that, but I would have never. That would
Like
have
you
never
never saw
popped
those
into my mind.
things,
to that.
like in the same vein as like dominoes, where like okay, so you touch this ball and it rolls down the ramp, and then
get what it is.
it hits this
Sure.
hammer, and the hammer
No, we
falls. and
get it.
Oh,
I just call it a
It's
fucking
just-
booby
Understand what
trap.
it is.
but
Yeah,
it's not a
just
booby
word
trap.
We use.
It's what
That's
I
what they're
said, that's why I said,
called.
Booby
It's
trap.
like the cause and effect. It's the it's,
Booby
you
trap.
know, it's like
That's what I said. Booby trap.
That's what they're called. That's like saying, well, I'm not gonna call this a podcast because I don't like that word.
I just wanted to do the Indiana Jones reference.
Yeah.
That's all.
Booby trap.
you're right. This ain't podcast. This is pod racing.
And this is now that's pod
This
racing.
is
Okay, let me
You
get through the rest of
meme.
this swap. We only have a little bit left here.
yeah, and I have things to talk about that are very
Oh,
important.
you have been talking about things, Hove. Okay, so Gambit Prime weapons are now dropping from the end of Gambit Prime, which is great because they were only dropping from like specific things you did in Gambit Prime or the Reckoning, or the end of Reckoning, and so it's nice that they're just dropping from the end of matches now. Wilson, did you get the sniper from Gambit Prime? I thought that was something you got one time.
I did. I got slide shot, snapshot.
Ooh,
It's really
jeez,
good.
man. I heard it's
Yeah.
good.
I like it a lot.
What's that one called?
Is that Soul Survivor? or
Yes,
something?
thank you.
All right,
Nice,
young
yeah.
Jeezy.
Hot damn.
Dude, I've been looking up the sniper stuff because I've been trying to find one. It's,
Do you remember that
it's
song?
me. I'm sad. It's energy.
Do you remember Young Jeezy and Akon? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited to get a chance at that sniper, and they're increasing the drop rates for Gambit Prime weapons from Reckoning. There's a couple other Gambit Prime changes. One is like Invader, like kind of nerf a little bit. You can't. It used to be the cooldown was 30 seconds for invading. Now it's 40. And when you kill, it used to give back 12% to Primeval. Now it gives back 8%. So a little different. See if there's some other stuff here. You can read it. I'm not gonna go through everything. If y'all have anything important with the rest of these notes, feel free to jump in. Otherwise, I'm gonna skip to the end of the TWAP here if y'all are cool with it.
I'm down.
I just want to say while we were on the topic quickly that No, this is for real. This is how my mind works. But this,
You giggled. I started giggling. I'm sorry.
Is it on topic?
yeah, it's about Akon.
It's about what?
Akon.
Oh.
This is not the
He
topic.
has. Listen, say what you will about Akon,
Chat.
but my man has a like charity set up where he's trying to bring electricity and internet all over Africa. That's like what he's doing nowadays
yeah,
instead of
that's
making
right,
music.
yeah.
Like that's pretty like good for him.
Good for him.
All right, let's talk about the video game TWAB. That's definitely way more important than the millions of people in Africa, Lego.
That's
damn, when you put
that's
that
like
in
saying
electric.
like you better eat that food. People are starving in Africa. You better finish that food, Hove.
That is like that's
No?
true. Why are we
Do you use
wasting
that
food?
phrase on people?
Yeah, on my children.
Well, yeah, you know.
Use it on me at Joe's
Man,
crap.
No, I
Fest.
didn't.
Yeah, I cried.
Did I?
No,
cried.
no, he did not. He actually used that on me during the strip club with tequila.
Oh,
He's like, "You
gosh.
better finish that."
Oh yeah.
Oh my
They're sober
God.
people.
No, to be fair, I was the first one though to back off and say like, let him go. He doesn't want to drink anymore.
And then you guys all left me with girls, and I actually drank a lot
Oh.
because I didn't know what to do.
Hove
I was
doesn't
up
know
there.
that part.
I was
Alright.
up there on the like.
Guys,
the
we
big-
need to get back on track. This is enough.
I was in the big VIP area booth in the side, and everyone kept on coming up and talking to me. I'm like, stop it, leave me alone.
I don't got money.
I have no money.
Oh,
You
that's
don't want
a
to talk
perfect
to me.
segue, Mana.
See,
because
you're welcome.
There's some stuff that
Strippers.
you can pay money for in the new DLC that they're offering for direct purchase. These new emotes, and I have some leftover silver from like the beginning of D2.
I paid a
I've
girl that
never-
night for an emote. She emoted.
don't
Oh my
don't know
God.
where to go from there.
How much glimmer did that set you back?
It was the one that I like with like the fake bow and then the grenade, you know, making sound effects. That's the
It's-
emotes you did.
It's not it's not like one of those emotes, but they have these emotes that show off the arc subclasses, and Hove, I think you will appreciate it because you think the Arc Strider pole dancer is the coolest.
No, I'm the one who
Subclass that you
realizes
get?
it. It is.
Did you see the pole dancer?
Yeah, I've seen the pole dancer.
It just
Me and Mana went to see some pole dancers.
for real though, did you see the
Yeah, I
video?
did.
Didn't you think the Arc Strider one was cool?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I do. I'm serious.
I can't tell.
Both.
You can't tell
I
she's
like
bullshitting
anybody. No, I've seen it. I like anybody dancing on a pole.
You've seen what? I need specifics.
I've seen the emote of the pole dancer. I saw it.
We can't escape the topic. Come
I'm
back
trying to
on
be
us.
serious here and answer your question. I don't know why you
I'm
guys.
almost crying over here.
To be fair, Lego kind of walked into when you used that.
I was answering honestly. It was just really funny. Like, yes, I saw the emote. The Bungie made emote in Destiny 2 of the Arc Strider pole dancer. Yes.
Okay. It looks awesome. I want the Titan one, and I might spin the silver that I have on it, depending on how much it is. But it looks awesome. And I wonder if you could, like, trick people in comp, like, activate it, because it looks like your super is activating the way the electricity comes out. I
Scare
wonder
him
if you
off, like off an
could,
objective
turn a
or
corner,
something.
Use your emote. Scare them off.
Everyone freaks out, runs away, like,
he's got a
nice.
super. How the hell does
Like,
this guy
grab
have
heavy now.
Yeah. How's this guy have his super?
Yeah,
he was
so...
pole dancing.
Those look awesome. And then lastly, very last thing, I'll just read exactly what they said, because there was Hove, this will get into what we were going to talk about earlier, but you know, this week in Destiny we had two big Crucible leads leave, John Wisniewski and
Ham Slam Rick.
Ham Slam Rick, Josh Hamrick, took off, which were two PvP leads, which is pretty huge. And then at the same time, you know, we just haven't had any PvP updates in a while. We haven't heard anything. And so all these rumors started going around like PvP is going to be ending. There's not going to be PvP in D3 and all this stuff. And
You know how confused I was because I haven't been paying attention to
I
news
bet.
and everything.
We
And
always
I
know
just
you're
randomly,
confused.
I jumped online and just saw everyone discussing about how there's no PvP in like D3. I'm just like,
what?
so I'm searching through like everyone's tweets and like
Yeah.
Bungie, and I'm just like,
Where did this stem from? What have I missed?
No, it stemmed from nowhere. It stemmed from 2 people leaving, basically. And it stemmed from literally nothing, because there hasn't been anything in PvP recently other than new pinnacle weapons. So I think the lack of stuff for PvP is what really got people on this train of like, maybe there's not going to be PvP. But Deej came on stream. There was a Gambit live stream this week, and he basically said like the Crucible team, specifically Crucible, is here working on stuff. I can't reveal it yet, but they're working nonstop to make the Crucible better. And then this also, I think they responded to some Reddit stuff saying like, yes, PvP is going to be here. And then in the TWAB, they kind of reiterated everything again. And I'll just read exactly what they said. They said, there's one more thing before we close this week out. There's been a lot of questions about the future of Crucible and Destiny and what we have planned to support PvP going forward. Yesterday, we let you know during a stream that we have no plans to remove PvP from the Destiny franchise. A lot of feedback on the Crucible and how it could improve comes in the form of suggested sandbox changes that could impact the flow of combat in PvP. As you can see from the section above, we are still committed to updating the sandbox as frequently as we can, and we have an update going out next week. And this is the part that like really has me hyped, and what I feel like from their other comments that something big is coming for PvP. And they said, the very last paragraph of this TWAB, we have bigger Crucible changes being planned for later this year, but we aren't ready to talk about those plans just yet. We hope to share more with you sometime this summer. In the meantime, we will continue to provide updates to matchmaking, quality of life fixes, sandbox balance, and glory changes. So that's a lot, but basically they're not dropping PvP. There's big stuff coming that they're going to talk about this summer, which, one, that's really exciting that news is coming. Two, the news is coming this summer, right? Like, am I reading that right? They're not like new things are happening this summer. They're just going to share it.
We're going to talk about it this summer. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I interpreted that, which is kind of a bummer because we haven't had anything new since September. And that means that the next new PvP thing is going to be September, a whole year. That's a really long time to have no, which who knows, you know, there could be.
I said they didn't say there's nothing new coming.
Exactly. It's just the lack of communication is what drove people to think that there was so much lack of communication about PvP that people were speculating that they were dropping PvP. That's an incredible amount, you know, to not talk about a whole aspect of your game. Don't you think? Like, I never thought that myself, but for the community to feel that way, I feel like that's a misstep on the communication part from Bungie right now.
Especially like thinking all the like Bungie employees that maybe pay attention to all the big talk on Twitter from like big content creators just adding on to the rumors and saying their input if it did happen, and not like nothing still happening for those few days or whatever, however long it went on for. It's just like, someone step in and be like, hey, whoa, what's this? You know, just something. No, don't confirm anything or deny. Just be like, pipe down. That's not going to happen. You know, something.
Because normally it happens sooner than later. Like somebody will come in and, hey, we're still a part of our game, which they did, but it just took a while.
There was like
you cut out for
7,
2 or 3
Yeah,
seconds.
there was like 7 words that probably we didn't hear.
It doesn't matter. Hove, did you have any thoughts about this? I feel like you might have had some words to say.
I mean, about that specifically?
Just about the topic of PvP in general and the way Bungie is handling everything.
No, not really. Nothing hasn't been said and beaten over and over again.
Here's something I will add to it, is that I've seen a lot of complaints about the Crucible recently, and about just a lot of people saying how terrible it is and it's in such a bad place. But to me, personally, it's in the best place it's ever been. Like, I think I saw someone say the special economy was in the best place it's ever been. I was talking with Windler about it earlier today, and I totally think it is. Like, I remember the end of D1, we had to pick up special boxes before we could even have sniper ammo and stuff, and now you start with 2 bolts, you know. And that was, I hated that. And now I can run double special and it's working in comp even.
I actually mentioned that. I've been seeing your clips and all that. I'm just like, dang it, I kind of want to do that, but I don't have the right weapons to attempt it.
It's so fun, man. And so the fact that I can play the way I want to is really cool. And I think that PvP is really fun right now. I don't think that we have the modes necessary to keep people in and playing. Like, I play because I'm down with having a sweaty time in Rumble and comp, and that's cool with me. But for everyone else that's trying to run quick play and running against Not Forgottens, I get why that's frustrating. And there's no, you know, in-game PvP experience to keep people here other than a season-long grind. So there are other things to be addressed for sure, and those are the things that I wish Bungie would talk about a little more. But all that's, I just wanted to present both sides of it, because I know I kind of said like this communication is bad, but I also wanted to present like, hey, I'm still having a lot of fun. I'm not just like complaining at the state of PvP or anything.
I mean, you're allowed to do that though.
I know, and that's why I did critique the communication, because I do feel like, hey, if it got so bad that the community, like even huge, you know, streamers and YouTubers that we know are like, and Mana even, if it gets to the point where Mana thinks that like he missed something and PvP is gonna be gone,
I was panicking, dude. I'm just like, what?
Exactly, like that's
hunting down through everyone's Twitter. I'm just like trying to find information. I'm like, what did I miss?
Oof. Exactly. Wilson, did you have any thoughts? We kind of didn't get to you and all that.
No, like, I mean, I just kind of knew from the beginning not to get too excited about it until it gets denied or confirmed. Like, this is just kind of hanging out, waiting for official statement on the whole thing. Like, I wasn't going to get too upset about it. Like, it was kind of a no-brainer when half the population is in PvP and 49% is in PvP and 51% is in PvE. It would just seem pretty silly to me that they would cut half the player base.
Yeah, same.
So,
same.
I just want to say, I don't think I would have been I'm not saying I agree with it or it would have been a good idea, but I don't think I would have been like super like bombshell news if they did say like we're changing or taking out PvP, you know.
Really?
Not because I think it's going to happen. It's just the timing of everything was suspect, with nothing being talked about, 2 Crucible leads leaving, like, and to transition into that, because I'm not of that mindset, and now we can officially say it's not because Crucible's being pulled, and it doesn't mean that things are bad. It doesn't mean that they hated Bungie or Bungie got tired of them, but. Yeah. With John Wisniewski and Josh Hamrick both leaving on the same week in the midst of, we have no word on Crucible, we have no word on Trials, it signals something. Whether that's good, bad, I mean, that is a signal of something. Either they don't like where Bungie has decided to go with, maybe not even don't like, but just aren't on board with where Bungie has decided to go as a company with PvP, or vice versa. Bungie has not been, decided that they are not a good fit for, do you know what I mean? Like something for both of them to leave the same week happen.
I don't know if I agree with that, because whenever you have people that work together that long and are like, they seem really close, like whenever I'd hear it would be them together. And so it made me think that, a lot of times when people switch companies, like they go together, people that are used to working together. I don't know about in the game industry, but just in general in business, that happens. So, but they haven't said what they're on to do next.
No, well, one, I can't remember which is which. One said he was just taking a break.
Taking a break, yeah.
And then moving on to doing his own thing with gaming. But
you could be right.
I'm
not saying you're completely wrong.
You're allowed to say I'm wrong, Lego. This is a podcast. We have different opinions. Stop being so nice.
But it's all speculation, so there is no
It is,
wrong,
but I still think just like I said, the timing of it with everything that's going on. Plus, it's not like we're not a couple months away from the end of D3. We're not there's no like checkpoint. Hey, we finished up this game and we're moving on. We finished this iteration of something. It just kind of came out of the blue in the midst of all this quiet, PvP in a bad spot, nothing being changed. I mean, like I said, it has to signal something. It does.
And there is we know there's something because they talk about it for the first time. We have bigger Crucible changes being planned for later this year. So there is big. They use the word big.
So that even more so. 2 of your Crucible leads, clearly those big changes aren't done and ready or they'd announce them, right?
Yeah.
And 2 of your Crucible leads leave in the middle of these big changes being made.
Uh-huh.
It's just something's off. And I don't mean that in like a something's going wrong there again, but it signals something. You can't convince me it doesn't. Because why would they leave in the middle of like just hey, we're both going to take off in the middle. We've been working here forever. There's big changes coming. We're on board with it. This is great. We like it. Why leave now? Something.
This patch that's coming out next Tuesday has been in the works for a while and has probably been tested and is probably been ready to push for the past couple weeks now. So I would almost wager that they did have something to do with these changes, and it is what they were finishing before they rolled out. I think they're still tweaking crossing some T's and dotting some I's and things like that, but like
they absolutely worked on
I don't think
those.
they work on the patch until last second and then push it out. Like, this has been ready.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, we're just talking about future stuff mainly, I think.
Yeah, because if they're talking about these big changes coming in the Crucible and your two of your leads are leaving, if they're not even ready to tell us what these big changes are, that means they're not done working on them. They might not even know what they are yet.
Yeah. I just hope that, like, fingers crossed, like, they don't do what they did with Destiny 1, where at the end of the lifespan, they change the special system to where, like, in trials and stuff, you don't even start with special ammo. Like, I just really hope that doesn't happen. I really like the system, and to me, it's the best it's ever been. If they make changes, I hope it's to game modes and to the way you, like, some sort of new experience that you play that's like a tournament thing, or like just some sort of shorter in-game PvP thing that you do rather than like, this season-long thing.
You hope they don't like make like a huge change and just like final that's it.
Yeah, because that's what they
done.
did with D1,
like,
and it was so.
Yeah.
I hate.
They left it at that. They switched it up. They left it at that. And just kind of moved on. It's just like what?
Yeah.
Like okay, fine then.
Yeah. Fine then. I'll play your new game, I guess.
I guess I'll roll with it,
Yeah. I mean, I dealt with it, and it was still the best. Destiny is still the best gunplay game that I play. And that's really funny because, when Apex came out, I was really like, oh, this is going to pull me away big time. And it does. Like, I still alternate and go play Apex every other night or so, but I'm on Destiny like every night right now because it's that gunplay is just so good to me.
Well,
so,
before we get too far of it, I do want to ask.
Yeah.
Most of that was kind of me and Lego going back and forth. What do you guys?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? On the two devs leaving same time, PvP, just that whole grand scheme of things.
I already said how like startled I was when I found out about the talk and everything, and then I saw that on top of it. It's like I don't know if it's just incredibly coincidental, like I don't know, it was huge coincidence, right? And then Hovey just started saying, he's like, what if it is potentially signaling something? Now I'm just like, maybe I should put
it doesn't mean anything bad
real quick,
but
think about it.
Here's the thing with coincidental.
Oh no, it doesn't have to be bad, but it could be signaling something.
Big changes, which they have said are coming.
Yeah, big changes.
The one thing with me with coincidental, I don't even think it's possible to be coincidental by definition, because coincidental means two like totally random things happening at the same time. You know what I mean? Like they know each other. They talked. I'm sure they didn't just both go, "Oh shit, you're leaving too." Do you know what I mean? Like something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't convince me otherwise.
But it was just like those two leaving, and then the whole talk about PvP leaving, and then of course not knowing anything about when are we ever going to get it? Yeah, about PvP in general. It's just like it's
something's up, and I don't mean that in a good bad way, but something's up.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
I don't want to go too long on it because I got to get to Bolton here pretty soon. But like
Michael,
Michael Bolton. No, it doesn't seem like it's coincidence to me. It's everyone's been harping on because they're first of all, correct me if I'm wrong. They weren't Crucible they were just Sandbox, right? And I understand Sandbox is a part of Crucible, but their title wasn't like Crucible lead. They were Sandbox lead.
Wasn't one of them senior?
Right?
I think
like-
John Wisniewski, because that's why he
John
was
is a
always
designer,
on
yeah.
Crucible
Weapon
Radio.
designer,
He was
right?
like the lead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they were just vocal about the
I'm
Crucible
pretty
stuff.
sure-
I
No.
could be wrong about that, but like the point that I was gonna make is that that's not Sandbox is not just Crucible. You know, there could be a lot more changes coming that don't have anything to do with Crucible if they are planning on doing Sandbox shakeups. But I don't think it's a coincidence that 2 of them left. They're obviously in need of a shakeup here and to keep things fresh. And if they're going to bring in someone else that has a vision on what they think will succeed for players and want them to keep coming back, I'm all for it. You know, there's obviously no ill will. They all left on like good terms. They're also going to be friends. But it'll be interesting to see what they do. Like maybe they'll come in and take down recoil a little bit on console. Like maybe they'll tone back sniper flinch. Maybe, you know, there's so many things that they could do that could completely shake the game up. And at this point, I'm all for it. Like, it's cool. I wish everyone the best. You know, thank all the people that worked on the game that I've spent so much time on. But like, I'm always down to usher in like new blood, new ideas, just some sort of freshness to it. It'll be cool. Hopefully, it'll be cool. We'll see. But
Hopefully it's a big cool change, like how Lego was talking about, like don't make a huge thing and just leave it there, you know, like D1 did with the change. But if they do that, maybe like reduce the flinching, you know, like you were just saying, Wilson, like I'm okay with that though. If they just do a huge overhaul with all the weapon feels and all that. Well, I guess not like maybe super huge, but you know.
You see guns on PC and like you get excited to go use them and shit, and you're like, this is fucking like why? Like why do I have to like fight this uphill battle with half my weapons half the time? You know, what would it be like with just take out a little bit of bloom, you know what I mean? Or figure out a way to take out bloom and do something else to hand cannons that because I understand if you take out bloom, like that's it. It's hand cannons all day. But like figure something out that works with, because there's nothing more satisfying than pointing your gun at something, pulling the trigger, and watching that bullet land. And there's nothing more frustrating than pointing your gun there and not having your bullet go there. I don't care
multiple times in a row too.
I don't care if I jump and do a fucking somersault. If my barrel's pointed somewhere, that's where that fucking bullet goes. And I understand that that's a huge thing with they didn't want the meta to be everyone jumping around because it was too effective and things like that. But people are doing that shit anyway. And when people do land, you know, a jump shot or something like that, they get really freaking excited about it. You know, like I don't like seeing things like Icarus mods that almost take you to the point to where like it's viable to just be leaping around the map, shooting everywhere. But then you still like when you need it to fucking work the most, it doesn't like.
Apparently,
You know?
you've never seen a little ditty called "Wanted," starring Angelina Jolie. And
Curved
what's his name?
bullets, man.
James McAvoy.
Young Charles Xavier.
Yeah,
You ask
he
anybody who
pointed
hates-
his gun somewhere, and it didn't go there. It went through like 4 different people's heads in a circle.
You
While
ask
going around
anyone
the
who
corner.
doesn't. You ask anyone who doesn't like sniping, and apparently that's already in the game. Aim assist curves your bullets and yada yada and this and that. And it's not how it works.
Well,
You know who else? Pop quiz.
wait, no. Hope. I know. You could keep going. Hope.
No,
but
I just like a
know.
question. It's a one answer. You know who else
Okay.
was in that movie? Who played his friend?
Angelina Jolie.
No, at the beginning, you know how he like freaked out and like he was working in the office. And
Oh,
his-
with the keyboard and like what like
You know who that
the
was?
sauce was it? I can't remember now.
pretty sure it was Chris Pratt.
Really?
Is it actually?
Wow.
Somebody also told me, I don't know if I believe it, that he was the kid at the beginning of Jurassic Park that was making fun of the dude for doing all the X-rays of the
Really?
raptor things. Yeah, and he was like,
Wouldn't that be ironic?
looks like a big turkey to me or something like that. Someone, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm gonna have to look into
doesn't
that. But
No, I don't think
Doesn't
that's
seem
correct.
like the same guy, but maybe. I
But
don't know.
yes, Barry. He played Barry. I just wanted to extend my film knowledge
Yeah.
to you guys.
As you
The
do.
more you know.
Yeah. Well, I know we have some Twitter questions, but I know also we've got a lot of hosts that need to go to bed and go to work. So I'm going to make the call to do these Twitter questions next week because a lot of them could be answered next week. None of them are specific to anything that has happened this week in Destiny. So we're going to answer those next week. And Wilson, we'll start with, well, I guess we'll start with me. This has been Lego, aka Lego Flash. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube at Lego LE Flash. Hove, where can they find you? Aside from in a pit of disappointment.
I'm so disappointed. I had things I wanted to talk about, and I was given no warning.
You should have talked about it, earlier.
You cut me off all the time. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Hove76, HOV76. Is there more I'm supposed to say?
Well, you gotta pass it on.
Somebody else. Mana.
I just crushed Hove's spirit.
Wow, that was rough.
I know.
Well, I'm the Manigator. You can catch me at Twitch, Twitter. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. At the Manigator, no space. The Manigator.
Also logging on to the True Vanguard's account and yelling penis water in random chats.
I forget what you guys were talking about. It was very specific. It was an answer that you guys were talking about.
Well, the question was, you know what happens if you eat a lot of pineapple?
Oh yeah, it enhances your penis water. Okay.
I don't think that's the right answer.
Wilson.
Wilson, you're muted.
Oh, he's muted.
Oh crap! Sorry, I'm laughing at when Mana came in and said that I could instantly picture his face of, oh shit, I'm still on TV's account.
Well, it was weird because on one screen I signed out and signed back into my account, but on this screen when I was still hosting you, I was still on TV. So when I typed it, I was like, wait.
You had been talking for 5 minutes on his thing.
Like I said, it was weird, man.
You can find me on Twitter at ReWilson. That's RYU Wilson. And you can find me working my ass off this week, so I'm gonna be tired. I'm kind of bummed. I'm kind of bummed because I have such minimal time to come home and play Destiny. And
yeah, I know those feels, man.
No, you don't. You don't even play Destiny.
Well, just in general.
Well, you
it's
can
the
also
drives, man. They kill me.
More about Resolute at Team Resolute. You can find more about REZOcast at REZOcast. You can find more about our sponsors, Blue Microphones and Headphones, who are amazing, at bluemic.com, and you can use code REZOcast to get 20% off.
And speaking of Blue, congratulations to our 3 winners. If you did not hear from me, I've already spoken to them personally. You did not win, but we will be having more giveaways soon. Why is that funny? Fuck you guys.
You did not win. That was just because everybody listening is like, well, crap. Dang it.
Shit. GG's.
GG's.
This time, no rereads, man.
So yeah, we'll be doing another giveaway. I think it's gonna say sometime.
Never doing another giveaway.
He's so disappointed in everything.
Everything.
The entire week.
This is supposed to be my happy place.
You said you weren't going to talk a lot this week, Hope. That was your specific words you said to us before the podcast.
Because I was in a bad mood, but I like coming on here and talking to you guys, and it's fun, and it puts me in a good mood, and you just ruined it.
He's like, I'm not
I
gonna
ruined yesterday for him. You ruined today for him.
There's weeks where I'm like, fuck, I got to do the podcast. I'm tired. I've had a bad week. And then I get on here, and we have so much fun, and I enjoy it. And then it was like you just stepped on my nuts. That's what it was like.
Yeah.
Did Mana just joke?
Wow.
I don't know what to say.
Lego, you just don't step on a dude's nuts, man.
I had some things I was very passionate about that I wanted to talk about.
Proper etiquette.
Well, I could say more words here, but I feel like they would just ruin Hove's night more, so I'm not going to.
I thought you were going to say nuts.
I'm going to be kind. But thank you for joining us for episode 129. Appreciate y'all coming out. Until next time, GG.
GG.
GG.